Welcome to What? Series 8. This will be all about Pastor John's Gory stories. And actually, how do you introduce something which was really basically mucking around to start with? I suppose you will work that out as we go through the series, but there is a seriousness to it all as well. The idea is to let you hear some Bible stories and then hopefully encourage you to return to the Bible in the original version. My stories are not necessarily totally accurate, and I have to admit that I have allowed my imagination to run a little bit, and in some places a lot. I can't help but imagine that's who I am and put faces to Bible characters and dream what it would have been like to be there in the way that I think. I hope these stories do encourage you to think about the stories from the Bible, but also to think about what the Bible is all about. So have fun, imagine, dream, and have a chuckle with me and at me at the same time. We're going to start the stories from the very beginning, Adam and Eve, and this one is titled Sin Binned Big Time. I suppose most good stories start with long, long ago, and it's an accurate start, even if it's a little bit tacky. After all, it was a long time ago, so long ago that it's actually the first bit of history. So long ago is right to write and to start the story because that's when it was. The next bit is supposed to be far, far away land and all of that kind of stuff, and that's true too, but I don't exactly know where it is. Well, the place is a guarded secret, but you'll find out more about that later. So here we go. So long, long ago, in a far away place lived two people, and that's true. Two people, that's all there was. Two people, not two people away from everybody else, but there was only two people. God had only made two people, man and female, man and wife, gentleman and his lady, a bloke and his Sheila. That was all that there was. They were all alone, having a great time in this garden. That is the faraway place. They didn't have much to do but look after the garden and have a great time and fellowship with God, which means spend time with him. They could actually do anything and everything they wanted, and that sounds like a pretty cool lifestyle. Let's face it, a place to live, enough to eat, a cute woman. Hey, good lifestyle. Well, as the story goes, and as it is in the Bible, there just happened to be one rule, and that was not to eat from this one particular tree. Not to eat the fruit of the tree. I don't know whether you could eat the bark, but it says not to eat the fruit of the tree. And I don't know if you're allowed to eat anything else off it. It doesn't say necessarily fruit, but actually we think of it as fruit. We actually think of it as an apple, but it doesn't actually say that in the Bible. That was the only rule. Don't eat that stuff. So life wasn't an apple. It wasn't a problem at all because there was lots of other stuff to eat until, well, this is where the story really starts, but it's still long, long ago in a faraway place. One day the lady whose name was Eve was wandering around the garden with nothing much on her mind and sees this tree and looks at it and says, nice tree and important too, she thinks. At which time a snaky thing, a thing like a snake, a serpent, the Bible calls it, says g'day to her. Well, not exactly g'day, more like, did God say that you shall not eat from any tree in the garden? The woman corrected the serpent, as women sometimes do. We may eat of the fruit of any tree in the garden except the tree in the middle of the garden. We can't touch it or we'll die. The snaky thing says, no, you won't. God knows that when you eat from it, you become like God, knowing good and bad. So then the woman, Eve, looks at the tree with new interest. Notice it was good for food, nice fruits like, and all of that. And of course, she wanted to be like God. After all, well, he is God, and why wouldn't you want to be like God? So anyway, she wanted to be like him. So she grabbed the piece of fruit and has a bite. At this point, I should mention a couple of points. Firstly, it's not a good idea to do what God doesn't want you to do. After all, he is God. And secondly, the piece of fruit is often referred to as an apple, as I said, but it doesn't say what it was. It could have been a kumquat, whatever that is. But it was a piece of fruit and it tasted yummy for a minute. It started to lose its flavour when the woman, Eve, realised she had stuffed up big time. Even had one of those oh wow experiences that turned into a oh no experience. And this is one of those. Eve had one at this point in the story, and she panicked as she gave some to her husband. What the purpose of this is, the Bible doesn't say. Some people think that maybe she didn't want to be the only person in the whole world to stuff up, so she gave it to a man, and he became his stuff up as well. Other people think she wanted someone to blame. But the point is, her man Adam joined in and realised stuff he hadn't seen before, like the fact that they were naked. Now, I don't know how he missed this before, but he did. He realises that neither him being Adam, or her being Eve, that they, meaning them, they didn't have any clothes on. That's pretty much what naked means. So him being Adam makes them some clothes out of big leaves. Oops, that should be fig leaves. According to the Bible, that's what it says anyway. But they would have been big leaves to cover them unless humans were smaller back then. Where God was, the Bible doesn't say, but it does say that they, being them, Adam and Eve, heard God walking in the garden, so they hid. Why? Because they were naked. But they had clothes on because they had these big fig leaves on. God calls them, "Where are you?" And the man, that is Adam, answers, well, maybe he didn't have the idea of hiding is not to be found. Anyway, he says, "I heard you walking and I hid because I was naked." God says, "Oh, really? Who says so? Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I told you not to?" The man, Adam, says in reply, "The woman you gave me, she gave me fruit and I ate." God turns to the woman. "What have you done?" The woman says, "The snaky thing tricked me." This is where they find out about God, a kind of really quick lesson about what happens when you stuff up like this. God speaks to the snaky thing and tells him he is in trouble. He will be hated by people and other animals, and that he will crawl on his belly. This worries me a bit because I don't know whether that means that snakes had legs before this point. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he was a dinosaur before that, but he turned into a snake. Then to the woman, Eve, "You will be in pain giving birth to your kids, but you will want to have them." You want to have kids. This always amazes me. Why do women want to have kids when they know it's going to hurt? And to the man, Adam, he says, "You will have to work hard for everything you get now. No more cushy life." Wow. As if that isn't bad enough, God kicks them out of home, or the garden that they'd been in, and he won't let them back in. Now, wow, that's a really cool story, and it's the start of all of the Bible stories. But there's definitely more to come than that. If you want to read about that, that comes from Genesis 1 through chapter 1 through chapter 3. Have a good read, and just imagine what it would have been like doing that first sin. Bless you.